First, I got a blue unitard, and it has a really awesome stretchy spandex material that is perfect for Setsuna. Next, I got this faux leather fabric for Setsuna's armor. It's really great because it's sturdy and smooth. I got about 3 yards of this, no 4, but you could get away with 3. I got a lightweight lavender fabric for her belt. It's nice, it's long, and it's absolutely perfect for what I need. Bam! Now, what would Setsuna be without her mokomoko? Honestly, I just got a really fluffy blanket that I'm going to alter to make into her great accessory. Okay, so I actually got this really cool belt buckle that I'm going to use to attach Setsuna's chest armor to her shoulder armor. And I really like it because it's gonna give the cosplay a realistic feel. You're also going to need gray ribbons, and this is going to be used to make the hem of the armor. You'll also need Velcro or a zip, a measuring tape and a fabric marker, fabric glue, and lastly you'll need the basic essentials like thread and scissors. Okay, so I'm gonna start by measuring the parts of the armor that's of the front that's gonna meet the back. I'm gonna measure the bust, I'm gonna measure the rib cage area, and I'm going to measure just the top portion of her armor, and then I'm going to do the full extent next. Okay, so my bust stops at 19 inches, but I want to leave margins for the hem, so I'm just gonna put it at 20 inches. So it's half an inch for both sides. Okay, so now my sister's gonna help me with the back, because she has my back. You know what I'm saying? She got my back. So she's just measuring, you know, the same way I measured the bust, she's doing the same with the back. So I'm actually going to do the full length, the lengths first, just to get an idea of where I'm heading. Okay, so all I'm doing here is marking the measurements that I just took on my body. And I'm also going to fold the poster board in half just to make sure that the armor will be perfectly symmetrical. And here, I'm just making the general shape of Setsuna's armor. All I'm doing is making a diagonal line from the top portion of her armor to the middle portion to make a proper bust shape. And after you make those diagonal lines, just use a ruler to make a horizontal line connecting the two of them to make the top portion of her armor. So the thing about Setsuna's armor is that although I measured here to here, that little cute thing she has is like, psh, psh, you know, it starts like somewhere, it just starts somewhere here. So I'm just kind of gonna wing it on this pattern that I'm doing. I'm just gonna estimate based on the measurements that I did where it could possibly go, okay? Okay, so that is is the completed pattern for the front. I'm going to do the same exact thing for the back. Okay, and this is the back pattern. Show that to you guys real quick. Something like this. Now cut, and well, bam, you have your patterns. Okie doke, so I cut out the patterns and voila, they look great, but will they work on my body? I'm gonna try these on first and see if I need to make any adjustments, and then if I don't, then I'm just gonna trace these onto the actual fabric, and then we're almost there. Woo! Okay, so I tried the patterns on me, and it fit. And it looks so good. Anyway, yes, it fit, but since we're using Velcro, I'm afraid that it was such a tight fit on the sides that the Velcro is just gonna pop up. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm still gonna use these patterns because I don't wanna make new ones, but when I'm tracing it on the actual fabric, I'm just gonna leave more space on this side and more space on this side. That's all I'm gonna do, and it should fix the problem. So, here we go. The shoulder pad that Setsuna has, the elbows, she doesn't have any neat things. So when it comes to the elbows and the shoulder pad, I'm going to just keep it simple. So I know for the torso armor, I did a whole bunch of patterns and stuff, but for these, I'm just gonna use simple shapes and I'm just gonna make it work.
from here to here and here to here on both of these.
So with your elbow pads, what you're gonna do is outline the periphery with the gray ribbon that you have. So you're gonna glue it on all the way around it and try to the best of your abilities, make an oval-like shape. Okay, so here's the completed elbow pad. See? This on me. Looks like I'm getting a IV or something. Bam! Bam! That's done. And on to the next thing. So praise God, I don't have to do more than one of these shoulder pads because those chest armor just took my energy. Okay, I'm just measuring the length of her shoulder pad just to make sure it's gonna be the full size. I don't wanna make it too small, okay? So this piece is the shoulder pad armor thing. So basically, this is the only piece that I'm actually going to add the pattern to it. The poster board that we used earlier, it's the only part that will probably be difficult to retain its shape if we don't have something sturdy holding it together. So that's why we're gonna add the pattern. So what I'm gonna do is just glue it onto the back. So what you want to do is cut diagonal lines, maybe just like hardly an inch in. Diagonal line there, diagonal line here, diagonal line here. And then after you do that, you want to take that diagonal line that you cut and you want to overlap it to where it makes a curve, like a 3D image. And then you're gonna safety pin it because that's the part that you're gonna glue together. So you're gonna do that with all sides, overlapping, and it should give you this shape, which looks something like this. But if you pay attention to Setsuna's shoulder armor, you realize that only on the bottom is curved, but in the top is straight. So all I did was just take those two corners and bend them in, like that. So then it should be straight here, curved, etc. So you should have a look like this. Wait! I forgot something very important. Before you make your slits, go ahead and leave the drawing that you did, but don't cut it yet. Outline it in the gray ribbon first. Outline it in the gray ribbon, and once you do that, then cut your slits. So this is how the outline should look like. So once you've outlined your shoulder pad and cut your diagonal lines, now it's time to layer it. So you want to do something like this. So you want to pin it down. It's going to be really tough now because you have the poster board paper and the outline and all that. Okay, so you make an overlay like this, and you're going to do that with all the slits. Okay, and this is how it should look like. So one thing I did forget to do was cut off the corners before I outlined it with the gray ribbon. So make sure you do that first. But besides that, it's looking good. Looking good. Wait, there we go. Bam! So if you look closely at Setsuna's outfit, she has these rope string things wrapping around her arm that's keeping that shoulder pad in place. So I just made some makeshift ones, basically just using the scraps of the leather that I've used. So you can use whichever fabric you want. So I put 2 big ones, and then I realized that the back part of the shoulder area was sticking up, and when we put the buckle there, I don't want it to just be flying high, you know? So I put another holder here so that it'll be able to curve it in when I put it on. So let me show you. So the buckle goes here, and notice how when I push on this, the back doesn't stick up. It's staying down, but it's not like skin tight, so it still looks like it's over her body. And that's the look I was going for, so this really works. So I am currently laying on Setsuna's mokomoko. I am now going to tell you how to make it into a beautiful creation. So this blanket is a bit thick on top, and it's just really hard to work with. So what we're going to do is I'm gonna lay it down, and then I'm gonna cut in some form of diagonal fashion. And the reason why I'm doing it diagonal, not just in half, is because Setsuna has a mokomoko that splits into 2. So I wanna have enough material to be able to roll 2 distinct ends. So I started in the middle, and when I got to about halfway in the blanket, I'm starting to veer towards the side so that I can make the bottom bigger and more fluffy than the top. And now you want to cut halfway through it again and stop somewhere in the lower part, like maybe around right here. Now I'm gonna flip it over. Oh, this side is nice too. Wait a minute. Is this side better? So I flipped it over, and I found out that I actually like this side better. So I'm going to use this side instead. But because when I roll it up, it looks a lot thinner, I'm gonna stuff it with the remainder of the other blanket. So this is my mokomoko. Look at that. It has the 2 splits. It has a little thing. And I also added a Velcro to it. So it has an easy attachment. So basically, this is how I feel about the mokomoko. I feel like this is an extension of your cosplay. So I did my mokomoko like this, but I feel like you guys can either do it like this or try to do it your own way, because honestly, how can you get a big, fluffy, scarf-looking thing wrong? So what you want to do with the front of the armor to make sure you have a nice shape for your bust area is to frame it. So all I did was I took the fabric and I folded it slightly like this. So I took the fabric, I folded it slightly, kind of like if you're wearing a tank top where the strap is. You just want to fold it to where there's a line, like an invisible line right here on each side of yourself. You just fold it over that area and you should have a nice bust area. Also, I'm going to cheat a little, just in this tiny part, because the hot glue nor the fabric glue were working. So all I'm gonna do is take just a simple string and needle and just thread maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 stitches. Okay, so At this point, what I've done is I've taken the back and I've put it together with the front here. And I also made marks to cut off the extra excess fabric so that it can perfectly be aligned with the front armor. So I'm going to first cut off that slight, it's super slight on my part, that slight excess, and then I'm going to outline the peripheries of the entire armor separately. I did not attach the top here so I can still outline. So you want to cut it first, the excess. Then you want to outline it in gray all around the periphery of your armor. And then we'll hit to the next step. So it's important to put hems on the periphery because, for instance, let's say you're doing this, you curve it in, but then this part, if you don't hem it, it's just going to be frayed and just sticking out everywhere. So you want to hem it so that it won't do this business. And it'll have a nice, clean, finished look when you're done. All right, so basically what I've done is I've put the seams, the gray seams on all sides. I've also finally fabric glued the front and the back together. I did that by modeling it on myself. I also added Velcro onto one side. So basically one side will be permanently stuck together and the other side is Velcroed. You can also use a zip, you can use, or a zip. So basically I decided to use a Velcro because we already had some, so save some money. Yeah. And now I'm gonna place a heavy book onto the seam part because this is the most important part. You do not want this to get undone. So I want to make sure it sets really well. So I'm going to let that sit. And while that's sitting, I'm just going to touch up on any parts of the seam that I see sticking up like this. So this looks pretty dry now. So I'm going to remove the pins. And guys, we are so close to being done. So once I remove the pins, we're going to put this shoulder pad on and try to adjust it with the body of her outfit, and then we should be good. Okay, so I decided to attach the buckle to the shoulder pad, and then there's a small little hook, and I'm just gonna create a small hole in the body of her outfit and then just kind of hook it through. So this will be permanently attached to this, and we'll be able to attach to that, to the body of her outfit with a small hook. Now, if you've chosen a different model of buckle to do for your outfit, you're gonna have to find another way to make it work. So just be creative, don't worry, I'm sure you'll figure out something to do. So we've taken a tiny piece of fabric and we've put it around the buckle. And we've put it tightly on with a lot of fabric glue because we want it to be really strong. So this is it so far. I want to point out just a few things. First of all, when you do this top outline, if you can, before you even make the bust area, if you can attach this first and then do the bust area, that'll save you a lot of trouble. And the next thing is, the Velcro, yes, we had it so it was useful, but I think it would be better if you had a zip. I think the zip is more durable and you won't risk it opening if it's like a cheaper Velcro. Okay, so now I'm gonna be putting a hole into this and connecting it, and that will be the end of this beautiful masterpiece. Not even on yet. Oh my gosh. Bro, someone give me a job. Someone hire me. What? Come on. What? After these elbow pads. Her outfit is simple, but it has like a lot of little accents that really make it come alive. Oh! Stop. Yeah, man. This is unreal. I'll put it slightly above my elbow. Her belt. Stop. Someone needs to hire me. Someone needs to hire me today. This moment. Right now. Okay. And then, last but not least, last to make, last to put on. Okay. Gonna latch this buckle in here. Bam! 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 Okay. And who would Setsuna be if she didn't have her mokomoko? Okay? Look at this. Look at this beauty. Okay. It's done! So guys, I don't think you understand. I spent 25 hours straight making this cosplay. I poured my sweat. I poured my tears. I poured my fur into this. Anyway, it was worth it because this came out incredible. I love it.